What Would Louise Say? Join us every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Hosted by Reverend Martine Bernard. Explore the wisdom of Louise Hay. Brought to you by New Thought Media Network. Dive into Louise's teachings. Experience healing and empowerment. Reverend Martine shares insights. Connect with a contemporary audience. Unlock your potential. Transform your life with love. Embrace positivity and healing. Join our vibrant community. Ready to join us? Let's spread love and wisdom together. Please like, share, and subscribe. Only on New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
Hello, radiant souls. I am so excited to be back with you this week. I'm Reverend Martine Bernard, and this is What Would Louise Say on the New Thought Media Network. And I'm so thrilled to be back. I had a little bit of a family urgency, so we repeated last week's episode or the week's before's episode with the wonderful Dr. Patricia. So I hope you enjoyed the re-anchoring and the deepening of the principles and everything that we talked about. All things Louise were expressed. And today I'm so excited. We are here to explore the teachings of Louise Hay and the power of affirmations. Yay to affirmations, because I don't know where I would be without them. So affirmations, self-love, and spiritual transformation. So I am a Heal Your Life teacher. I am a minister, New Thought minister, and I'm a spiritual midwife for those who are birthing into their most abundant, miracle-filled lives. And it's an honor. So today I am absolutely excited and thrilled to welcome a woman whose work embodies the spirit of Louise Hay. She's a powerful voice in the field of personal growth, transformation, and self-love. Please join me in welcoming my beloved soul sister and master teacher, our guest today, Greta Counts. Yay! Happy. We have been planning this for some time. Yes. And Greta, I'm so excited to have you here. You're an absolute master teacher.
Thank you.
You've been at this for so long, and I'm so excited because you can help me to help others deepen their self-love. And so I want to talk about the most obvious thing, your wonderful t-shirt, because I was like, that t-shirt is familiar to me, because at the Louise Hay training with Dr. Patricia and Rick, I bought that t-shirt for a good friend. So I was like, why does it look so familiar? My beloveds, I had bought so many books that I stopped myself. I said, you cannot buy anything else for yourself.
Right.
I had to go get an extra little piece of luggage because I was this close to being overweight with my clothes for 10 days, the 10-day training. That is phenomenal. And at the last minute, I was like, I'm getting a t-shirt from one of my girlfriends. So now the originator of this wonderful t-shirt is with us.
Yes.
Oh, welcome. Tell us about the inspiration, how you found Louise, but let's talk about your t-shirt, because I think that this is such a powerful message.
Right. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. I have heard so many wonderful things about you from Dr. Patricia Crane, and she's like, you guys have to meet each other. You remind me of each other. And I said, wow. So in my opinion, you are a reflection of me as I am a reflection of you, right?
Yes, the oneness
yes,
is real.
Yes. And Louise, so what's very interesting about me finding out about Louise was that I really didn't know that I had discovered her during my college days, because many years ago, I bought some Power Thought cards from the mall. So every day, all through college, all through life, I would use my Power Thought cards. I would shuffle the cards every morning, pull a card, and go with it, right? Yes. Never paid attention to who authored those cards, right? So hadn't thought about her at all, didn't really know she was the one who was the author of them. Fast forward, I completed my religious science practitioner training in 2012. And we were waiting for, I was waiting to take my orals and I was waiting to take my written exam. And it was at the time, 2012, they were merging the two sides of
Yes,
religious
yes.
science. So it made me have to wait. So I'm in the car taking my daughters back to college. I have twin daughters. And
You look like a teenager yourself.
yeah, they're 34 now, but they were in college. This was 2012. So we were on the way back and one of them was driving and I was flipping through the Science of Mind magazine and the very back ad was about the training. And I thought, well, while I'm waiting to take my orals, I might as well do this training. And that was like October of 2011, right? So it was scheduled to happen in February of 2012. And I said, my birthday's in February. So I'll treat myself to this training because I need the healing, not so much that I wanted to try to teach it to anybody, but I just need the healing. And I signed up for it in November and showed up in February of 2012. And I'm like, oh, Louise Hay. Like in my mind, I just hadn't been like specifically following her, but I was using those power thought cards all the time. And I was also doing all the principles without knowing that it was what she had shared in her book. So here I am, and I thought, wow, I was there for the training in San Diego. And it's like everything I had ever done in my life converged on that moment. And I thought, this is incredible because as you know, when you finish the religious science practitioner training, and then you segue it into that, it's like, I mean, you're on this, you're in a heightened state. I mean,
That's
yeah, you don't need an airplane to go anywhere because you can get there in your own mind. And I just thought, wow. And it was at the time, it was the largest one that they had ever had. There were 40 of us there,
wow.
and half of them were from other countries like India and Belgium. And so I made friends, lifetime relationships with people. And I was like, oh my gosh. So what it did for me was this. I was able to take all of the wisdom of Dr. Ernest Holmes, which was just, that information is so dense. And so she made it user friendly, in my
Yes,
opinion.
that's
She
very well said.
Yeah, she made the information I had just learned because I thought, how can I know all of this and how do I get it to the people? That I mean, what you want is for everybody to be liberated by the wisdom of Dr. Ernest Holmes. And then here, Louise Hay, she made it user friendly for the average person. This is what you do. This is what that's saying. So it wasn't as dense, which I like dense information. I got to say, I was a math and science major. So I like it when it's dense, but then when you want to practice it.
And
So
explain it. And when you
yes,
explain it
yes,
in easier,
yes,
the colloquial language,
yes, layman's terms, right?
layman's terms. Yes.
And so when I got there, I thought, wow, I get to not just be a practitioner waiting on someone to come and get a treatment from me, but now I can actually actively use the work. I can this is practical. I can do something with it. So I was over the moon, to needless to say. And I believe that Louise Hay is just, as we know, there will never be another like Louise Hay. She
There will
just was
never
in
be.
her element and being all that we were studying. She was being it. And
She
so
being it.
yes, yes,
She gave us an example that you can come from absolutely humble beginnings.
yes,
She said in the movie, You Can Heal Your Life, which is on YouTube's My
yes.
Beloveds. You can watch it for free. But she said, I knew nothing and I came from nothing.
Mhm.
My mother had struggled in relationships. That she was a sexually abused little girl, and that way into adulthood. Until she had this awakening. She went into one of our churches
Yes,
called religious science back then. And she
yes,
said she became obsessed and fell in love with
yes,
the idea that our thinking can create our reality. And I
absolutely.
like to remind the viewers, my beloveds, that your feeling tone. I was reading listening to Reverend Michael Beckwith, but I love to open up the Signs of Mind randomly.
Mhm.
And Ernest Holmes was talking about the thought atmosphere around your body temple.
Yes.
So that is what goes out or attracts to it.
Yes.
Your experiences. My cat, Princess, is like, is on my lap, off my lap. I forgot to put her in the room, everybody. I'm getting a lot of kitty love, and she's here to say hello to
Yes.
your teacher, Greta
Yeah.
Counts, and to be with us in the interview. I can't
Yeah.
speak to Are you interested in Louise? Yes, you are.
Yes.
And so I love Mirror Work Works.
Yes.
Oh, what a fabulous title. That was a universal download.
Yes, it was.
It's right next to you.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes. If you want to, yes, just here it
Mhm.
is. We have the beautiful
Yes.
Greta Counts here with us and her book.
Mhm.
Tell me about your passion for mirror work and what inspired you to hone in on this principle of Louise's worldview.
You know what's interesting is when I was there for the training in February of 2012, I was reminded of something I had been doing all my life. So it was very interesting because I believe Louise Hay showed up in my experience because I have been using all those principles while I didn't attribute them to having read about them from her books. But I was reminded, so I feel like it was inevitable for me to come into
Yes.
contact with her work because this is what I realized is that as it pertains to mirror work, I grew up an only child, right? So so as an only child, you know, you go to school and all the things. And so sometimes you're afraid. You're afraid for the first day of school. You don't have an older sister or brother that's going to be there. So I had this thing that I would stand in front of my mirror. This started at 5 years old. I would stand in front of the mirror and there was a poem on the mirror that says, the poem about the tree. I think that I shall never find a poem as lovely as a tree, a tree whose roots. So I would read that poem and I would look into the mirror in my own eyes and say, I'm your best friend. We're going to have a great day today. Everything is already okay. I did that like all of my life, never realizing I never called it mirror work. I felt like that, some only children have imaginary friends. I felt like that was kind of creepy. So I decided to be my own best friend in the mirror instead of having I wanted to see my friend, right? So in my mind as a child, I would do this thing in the mirror every day and every morning and every night. Like, how was our day today? Like, did you hear what that girl said the other day? And I would always be sitting there having this conversation. So then in all of my businesses, I've been an entrepreneur in so many times in my life and still am today, business owner. And even when I had jobs, but I was always using the mirror to manifest what I wanted in my life. And then when I went to the I Can Do It conference after I had graduated from the Heal Your Life training, and there was Louise on stage, she had a mirror in her bra. And she whipped it out and she goes, I always have a mirror. She had some hot sauce in her bra. She had a mirror in her bra, and I thought,
Everybody, I have cat hair everywhere.
right. So I never carried my mirror, but when I would get home, like sometimes I couldn't wait to get home to say, did you see what happened today? Or if I was sad, I would run to the mirror. So, and I didn't realize it, but with all of my clients, I've done sales training over the years, emotional intelligence training. I own over 100 mirrors. So I always take mirrors and people would be so upset with me in corporate, like, why are we doing this mirror thing? Right. So I never really thought, and every client I've ever had in any way, I've always said, we got to start with mirror work, but I never thought about it. And one of my clients said in 2020, she said, why don't you do a book about it? Because I can hear your voice. I know I need to get the mirror. Like people always say, you always direct us there. I never thought about it. I was unconsciously promoting it and it's because I use it, right? And so I decided to create a 21-day self-love guide, a self-love experience,
Oh my.
just for you to just take your deep dive and, let it do what it's going to do for you. And I just feel like Louise Hay was that reminder, that tap on my shoulder that you've been doing this and she had been doing that, but not everybody is aware of the power
At all.
of what mirror work can do. And what I believe mirror work does, simply put, is it awakens you to the God presence within you.
That's right.
And when you awaken to the God presence inside yourself, um, there's nothing in there but love. So everything you see looks like love. Every person you meet looks like love. All your experiences reflect that love back to you. Because as we know, Ernest Holmes said that, life
Mhm.
reflects back to us, the very thing that we have going on inside of us ourselves. And what I learned about myself over the years from childhood up was that I am a really nice person, and I really uh I like being helpful to people, and I learned to like so many things about myself that I notice I see other people in their best, even if they're not behaving that way. And
Yeah.
the reason I can only see what I see with me. So even when they're showing up a different way, sometimes people are really trying to offend me, but I can't even take offense, because all I can do is love you, like, because I love me so much that I see love in you even when you're unaware of it. And it's always been my thing, and I just never really thought about what it is. And someone asked me, what is it about you? And I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but when I think about it, it's mirror work, because I did it this morning. I just had a moment, sat with myself. I cried. Sometimes there's sadness in there. I don't know what's in there, but the mirror will always tell you what's going on inside of yourself. And it's a powerful experience if you will allow it to be. Yes.
Oh my goodness. That is incredible.
Yes.
Here you were, an advanced soul in this little girl's body,
Yeah.
having kind of downloaded the contract. You knew who you were meant to be here,
Yes.
and you came with that ancient knowing,
Hmm.
eternal knowing that
Hmm.
as we look into our eyes, we see the God within.
Yes.
Here you were as a child
Yes.
doing this instinctively.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know it is. Never thought about it.
I've met a lot of people who are spiritually advanced, but none of them were looking in the mirror at 5 years old and saying their own personal affirmation and
Yeah,
falling in love with themselves.
I know.
Because it does seem the two great commandments:
Yeah.
to love God with all your heart, love
Yes.
your neighbor as you
It
love
just,
yourself. And
yeah.
so many of us are unable to manifest that
Yeah.
because we have such a difficulty
Yes.
loving and embracing who we are. Who
Yes.
we are. We had
Yes.
a wonderful comment from, I think it was Dr. Patricia, who's
Uh-huh.
here with us. Yeah,
Nice.
wonderful
Wonderful.
seeing these two powerful women. It's been a pleasure to have both of them at the Heal Your Life workshop, leader and coach training.
Yeah.
Greta's book is great.
Yes.
Yes. So
Thank you, Dr.
I'm
Patricia.
I am recommending that everybody go out and get Greta's book,
Yeah.
just because Louise Good is the master iconic,
Yes.
bringer of this spiritual technology. But
Yes.
I'm going to start my 21 days
Yeah.
of mirror work and really, really commit to it because it's life changing,
Hmm.
life changing, life
Yes.
changing. So I'm so excited. What a testimony.
Yes. I know. And I'm
What
so grateful to Louise, because I was doing it unaware. And it just brought me to this moment of like, oh, this is a thing that most people aren't doing. And she reminded me of that. I just think she was certainly an incredible being. I mean, the mother of New Thought. There will never be a
yes.
Louise Hay. And I've used it through all my businesses. Just I've always done it, and I always have power thought cards. Like I keep them. You know, sometimes what I do when I'm out and about, I carry power thought cards and I'll just walk up and share it with somebody. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's like, yeah, like I just have this desire, this strong desire for people to remember who they are and that they are already all right. And the only thing wrong with you is that you think there's something wrong with you. Like, other than that,
Perception.
yes, yes. It's like,
It's
wow.
perception.
Yes.
So we are plugging the power thoughts because I listen. I have my CD. Yes, I do.
Yes.
I play it in my car, but when I fly, when I'm
Yes.
taking off, I listen to 101 Power Thoughts for Life by Louise Hay.
Yes.
Actually very soothing and calming. I'm not afraid to fly, but it's my opportunity to deep dive
Yes.
affirmations. And her voice is like a form of hypnosis for
Oh
me.
my gosh, it really is.
I hear Louise,
Yes.
you know, and everything. My cortisol, the stress hormones go, whoop, they just disappear. So that has been just such an anchoring part of my spiritual practice. So
Mhm.
the cards, I think it's also, yes, of course, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So when you're having that moment, beloveds, go for the 101 power thought, pull a card,
Yes.
listen to Louise's voice,
Yes.
those incredible affirmations.
Yes.
Wow.
I know, right?
How exciting. So get the mirror works,
Yes, it
beloveds.
does.
It works. That is perfect. Mirror works. Say
Yeah.
that 100 times.
I know, right? And no matter how long you've been doing it, like there's always, you know what I found out that because you know you go through different stages of life. That's the thing. You go through the different stages and you feel different ways in your life, you know, becoming a wife, becoming a mother, becoming a whatever it is, you know. And so at one point in my life, I noticed in the mirror, this is why mirror work is so powerful. I would notice that when I would tell myself I love myself, I would lean away from the mirror. And I thought, interesting. You know, you want to be in a relationship with people and you want people to tell you that they love you and you want them to love you. But without knowing it, if you're not looking in the mirror, you don't even know that you're probably leaning away from them when they say it, if they say it,
You're
right?
not receiving it. You're not even receiving your own self love.
Yes.
Powerful. How
It
powerful.
is. It is. And so when you lean forward and you can hear yourself saying it, it's just your self-acceptance just goes, I mean,
Through
it
the
goes
roof.
through the roof. Yeah, it does, you know? It's a beautiful thing.
So this is about building a muscle.
Yes.
So it's the muscle of basically taking these affirmations that you're speaking, but
Yes.
as you look into your eyes, beloveds, you're actually rooting this
Mhm.
deep into your subconscious mind. And what I love about what Louise says is that you can actually then also measure your resistance.
Mhm.
Why am I resisting the statement that I'm making as I look into my eyes?
Yeah.
And what is the underlying belief
Mhm.
underneath this affirmation? So, okay,
Yeah.
I am prosperous, money comes to me from everywhere and everyone, but I go, "Ooh," every time I say it. So
Yes.
it helps us to dig to
Mhm.
mind, to go deeper and find the limiting belief and then change it.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
you talk a little bit, Greta, about the resistance, like you were saying, your body pulled back, but for a lot of people, especially women,
Mhm. Yes,
the
sure.
thought. So, how do you get your client to overcome their doubt, their
Mhm.
skepticism, and their no way in heck? Is this ever going to work? And no, I'm never going to look into my eyes. I tell myself, I love you. I really, really, really love you. So,
Yes.
how do you overcome the resistance? How do you get people to begin?
You know, one of the things that I do is I ask them to not say anything, to
Ah,
just sit in front of the mirror. And we might do that for 12 whole sessions. There's no words being spoken.
oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, like I just want you to, you know, when you wake up in the morning, just give yourself 3 minutes. Just, you know, stand in front of the mirror, sit in front of the mirror, you know, and look into your own eyes. And then before you go to bed, do it. But you don't need to say anything to yourself because it's just most people have not been taught that.
My
And to think that somebody can do it in 3 sessions, or they can do it right away. I did a clinic once with mirror work. Gosh, I can't remember. That maybe been 2013. And a lady got up and walked out. She was so upset. She goes, "This is not what I came here for." She was so offended. Um,
goodness.
about us doing mirror work. And I thought, wow, of all the things I could have done to her, I didn't think that one would, I didn't hit her. I mean, it was just mirror work. But what I know happened to her is she heard her own thoughts and it freaked her out. It took her somewhere to her childhood that she probably didn't want to go. But if she had stayed long enough, she would have been able to, but she left.
To get the tools to help her to
Yeah.
overcome the
Well,
resistance.
and to allow what's coming up to come up, because
Without judgment.
it's just coming up. It's just revealing itself. It's a treasure. I tell my clients, it's a buried treasure to find out what's down in there, because some days you sit there, like as many years as I've been doing it, I'll go, oh, I remember once I was sitting in the mirror and I realized that I had had a job and a person had offended me and I was holding on to it. I hadn't thought about that for 20 years, but it popped up one day during mirror work. And I thought, wow. And I realized how I felt about what he did. And really, I should have sued the company, because it was not a nice thing that he did. And but I spoke, I spoke up for myself. So I thought I was over that.
Wow.
Only mirror work helped me to understand that I was violated.
My goodness, that is so powerful,
Yeah.
because it helps me to think about the premise that we take so much of what we say, what people say to us, what we're doing, our actions so lightly, but they can actually root themselves like
Yes.
weeds.
Yes.
We have an experience, and my beloveds, if you have an emotional response to that experience, it's like a little seed gets planted into your subconscious mind.
Yes.
So if you're like, "Ho ha, whatever," it doesn't get planted. But if there is a rise, I have a brilliant girlfriend who uses, "I had a rise. I felt the somatic coach." She goes, "There was a rise." And I love, she's so majestic.
Yeah.
It's a rise. So if you have a rise, my beloved,
Yes.
that's a little seed.
Yes.
And so mirror work is uprooting all the little weeds.
Yes.
And because we think thousands of thoughts a day, they say that women speak about 25,000 words a day, and men speak anywhere from 10,000 to 15,000.
That's hilarious.
Big difference. So imagine all of the words that we're saying, that other people are saying to us.
Yeah,
They're little seeds.
they
So
are.
of your practice,
Yes.
because you've practiced this spiritual discipline or blisscipline,
Yes.
you're able, the weeds show up because
Yeah.
you've done so much work, the little things.
Yes.
You're able to get to the little things.
Mhm.
And I love that. I love what Louise says at the end of her movie, that because she's done so many affirmations in her life and practiced the affirmation muscle, she
Yes.
just had a general affirmation.
Mhm.
Everything is always working out for my highest good, and only good comes to me. She
Yes.
doesn't have to do the, oh, it's money, oh, it's a relationship,
Yes. Yes.
oh, it's good health, oh, it's divine, it's wonderful employment or purpose-driven life. She's
Yeah.
like, only good. I know it'll be good.
Yes.
Only good comes to me. So that to me is so significant. It reminds me of
Mhm.
your initial practice of having people just sit
Yeah.
in silence.
Yes.
Be
Yes.
still and know that I am God. Beloveds, when I have stood in front of the mirror and just looked, you
Yes.
actually see the being,
Yes.
the spiritual being. You're like, oh, there is something that inhabits this vehicle.
Yes.
You really tune into, oh, wow, I'm a spirit having a human incarnation when you get quiet enough.
Yeah.
And so, what you've done with your clients is that you've raised the vibration. They're
Mhm.
looking at the I am presence, that,
Yeah.
the Buddhist monks who bow to the I am presence, the Christ mind, the Buddha mind within, and they're seeing that being and attuning to the vibration,
Yes. Yes.
silencing all that chatter.
Yes.
Because when you look into your eyes and you see that secret being within, you silence all of
Yes.
the chatter.
It's so amazing. Sometimes people say, I didn't know I was sad. I didn't know I was angry. I didn't know I was they they will really realize what's going on in there, and
Yes.
being quiet allows your voice, your inner voice, to be heard.
Wow.
And there's nothing like it. I just feel like instead of watching what people are watching on wherever, social media, television, whatever it is, if you would just give yourself at least 3 minutes a day to just be with yourself in a mirror, I mean, it's life changing, and it changes you quickly. Like, there's no waiting around. And I love, like, when I'm in a corporate setting, when I'm with corporations, and the people just don't want to do it. Like, they will hold the mirror up high, or it's just so, and I'm like, this is so hilarious. These grown people are acting like they're 2 years old. Like, they don't want to look at themselves. Or when I have them choose a power thought card, one lady got offended because she wanted to read the cards first. I'm like, no, you got to close your eyes and pick a card. She's like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, wow, so controlling that you want to control what you're gonna choose, you know?
Oh my gosh, this
It's
is hysterical.
hilarious.
I think I'm just so used to being around the spiritual crowd that
Oh
really
yes,
wants to do this. This is hysterical to me.
yes,
All
yes,
of the resistance, all of
yes,
the resistance to hearing our inner voice,
yes,
to following inner guidance, because my
yes,
beloveds, when you get quiet, you actually tune into inner guidance. You know that you're angry, you're sad. You
yes.
will also be directed, you will be given
Mhm.
direction. And I
Yes.
know that we're talking about mirror work. I mean, I'm becoming obsessed now. But Greta, I do have, and I have all these other interview questions.
Right, right.
This is so exciting.
Yes.
So, when you say, are you seated in front of a full length mirror? Are you doing mirror work just in your bathroom mirror? Do you have a handheld mirror? Since you're the expert,
Yeah.
you're
Great
literally one of
question.
the experts.
All of the above. I do invite my clients to, I call it copper squat. Sit down,
Yes.
get a box of tissues and just sit with yourself. Because, if I do the hand holding, like I have a mirror on my nightstand. As soon as I wake up, that's the first, before I brush my teeth, before I go to the bathroom, the first thing I do is greet myself. Good morning, sunshine. You are so beautiful. Oh my gosh. What are we going to do today? I'm so excited. I cannot wait for the gift of today. How do you want? We're going to play today. What do you want to do? You want to roller skate? You want to go waterfall hiking? What are we going to do today for fun? I greet myself like, my kids say I wake up like a 6-year-old little boy. And it's just me being in the mirror, and it's just so funny. But I use the handheld. I have a small one that I carry with me, that I always have on me. Patricia gave me a really pretty mirror when I was at the Heal Your Life training. I think she got it from Hawaii, but she gifted that to me when she invited me back to be a teacher training to the teacher training.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but I have the full length, and then in the bathroom, I love to
Yes.
sit on my counter in the bathroom. The sink thing is pretty big, and
Ah,
I just sit in there and I go, "Oh, how are we feeling today? What are you thinking? What are you feeling?" Sometimes I go, "You remember that time when we were 6 years old and we did da 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 da?" And yeah, I remember that time that girl pushed me down on the playground. I didn't like that at all. Like, I have this whole thing going with myself because
you have a deep friendship with yourself.
I do. And it is I totally enjoy my own honesty. Um because I tell myself the truth all the time. Like, I'm like, you pretended you went to I went to a networking event maybe 3 weeks ago, and I didn't like what I was feeling. I noticed it and I felt it. And then I pretended like I didn't feel it. So when I got home, I spoke with myself about it because I didn't want to betray myself, right? And I said, "Did you notice that you were feeling something? And so, what can we do next time to speak up in the moment? Like, what can, oh, okay, next time, we're going to notice that, and we're going to, but I did congratulate myself for dismissing myself because I could feel what was happening in the room, because a lot of people haven't done the work we've done, right? And
Yes.
so I pick and choose where I use my energy.
Yes.
and it wasn't feeling good. So I said, let's go home. So I left the networking event and I said, this is cool. But I did say to myself, what could we have done differently next time? Like, but I do that. I meet myself. I cannot wait to get home. I high five myself. I cry when when it hasn't been
Yes.
such a great day. Or sometimes I say, like last week, I had a very interesting week. I say, I feel scared. Are you feeling that? And then I listen to my higher self say, I can understand why you would feel that way, but guess what? Do you remember this about yourself? So I do it. It's just what I do. I feel like I owe it to myself because I was born with me and I'll be the last one I'll be with when I take my last breath.
Right.
And I owe it to myself to befriend myself. I mean, I am my best friend. And that's how I know when I have a friend if they're being friendly to me or not. Because I know how I treat myself. I am a priority, right, for me. And I have a tendency to prioritize my friends. But I also quickly notice when there's no reciprocity, and it's because I give it to myself.
That's
So,
right.
yeah. So it's just,
This is, yes. So this is unconsciously has taught you how valuable you are.
yes,
Valuable you are. I
yes.
would like 3 tips for mirror work before I go into my other questions.
Okay, okay. 3 tips
The
about doing it.
Yes, about doing it. The skeptic. The skeptic who's like, this is crazy, but I'm willing to try. And the
Yeah.
first tip, well, it's not even, but A, go get the book.
I would tell them, make the decision that you want to have a relationship with yourself. You know what
Wow.
I mean? Because I think all bets are off if you don't make the decision that you want to be in relationship with yourself. Some people would just rather blame everybody for the rest of their lives, and they're good with that. So if you make the decision that, I do think I want to have a relationship with myself, I would tell them to start there. And then the next thing I would tell them is to not rush the process, to just be willing to, and I would invite them to get a mirror where you can only see your eyes initially. Yeah,
That's fabulous.
yeah. At one of my trainings, I had a good mix of men and women at one of my 2-day trainings. And one of the men forgot to bring his mirror the second day. So he took the mirror off of his windshield and he brought it in. And what's cool about that is you can only see your eyes in the rearview mirror, right, when you're looking in it. So
Yes.
he brought in his rearview mirror, and after that I did a mirror work workshop for men only, and I went to this junkyard and I had the guy give me all the mirrors. So I have all of these rearview mirrors. When you look in a rearview mirror that's handheld, you can only see your eyes. So I would tell a person to make the decision, you want a relationship with yourself. Do you or don't you? If you don't, it's okay. And then get a mirror where you can only see your eyes.
My goodness, that's phenomenal. I'm going
Yeah.
to do that because I think,
Mhm.
especially women, we are so focused on what it looks like. So the mind's
Yes.
going, you've gained weight, there's
Yeah.
your double chin,
You have your dad's nose. I need to get your eyebrows waxed. Just all the things.
one
So
shorter than the other. We're like looking
yes, yes,
at
yes.
all
And then once you decide and you make the decision and you get the mirror where you can only see into your eyes, the next thing I would say is to be with yourself with no words. No words. No, don't tell yourself you love yourself because at that moment you're not sure. You're not sure. This person, think about it. We've let ourselves down 1,000 times. You've been married, now you're divorced. So you kind of don't trust yourself. So how dare I say I love myself? I don't even know if I like this girl right here. So it's like, no, just
Exactly.
look into her eyes. Don't say anything. Don't be attached to having to say something,
That's
but
right.
be open to listening to what you hear coming up. And then when whatever you hear coming up, just jot it down. Just jot it down. Listen to it and go, wow, she looks sad, whatever that is, because that is something. There's something telling you something that you need to know. So don't say anything, but be willing to listen. So those would be the 3 things I would say.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I know that Louise would say, Greta, you've taken mirror to the master's and PhD level. I am so proud of you. Here's a big hug because my beloveds, we're getting some golden nuggets. I call it treasures when someone
Yes.
throws a golden nugget.
Yes.
Wow,
I
this
know.
is phenomenal. And
Yeah.
it bypasses the ego that
Yes.
just wants to get into judgment by looking at the whole body or
Yes.
looking at your face and your eyebrows are not right. She did my eyebrows wrong. All
Right.
that kind of stuff. Why do I have my little crow's feet? All of it. I mean, all of it. This is really, you get to look and perceive and tune into your
Yes.
spiritual self. We're not just these bodies.
No.
We're not our bodies. We are
No.
so much more. And when you look into your eyes just like that, oh, you
Yeah.
get to perceive your inner beauty.
Yeah.
So here is Greta's website, www.mirrorworkworks.com.
Yeah.
And Greta, a little bit about your coaching. Could
Oh,
you
wow.
tell us about your coaching? You have an upcoming retreat or
Yes.
workshop? Could you
Yes.
talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Upcoming 2-day workshop is in August. The dates that I've selected is because people have been asking. I do it. I call it Feel the Heal. And it's going to be August the 23rd and the 24th here in Atlanta.
Can those of us far away, can we stream in? Are you at that point with your workshop?
You know, those 2-day workshops, you got to be in person. It's just, I mean, it's
Yes.
just, I mean, I understand that. Now I do like the 6-week study, I do study groups and things like that. Yeah, but some things just have to be in person. And I do have that coming up. I don't have a date selected for that yet, but that's what's going to be happening. So you can go to my website and find out when I'm offering the various workshops.
Yes, and this is www.centerforselfawareness.com.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And so, yes, I am the founder and CEO of the Center for Self-Awareness. I changed the name of my company because it was something else before that, because people kept saying in their testimonials, I feel so much more self-aware. I feel so much more self-aware. And so I like to say that I am most passionate about teaching daily routines that encourage self-love, self-compassion, self-acceptance, and self-mastery through self-awareness. Because we hear people say awareness is the beginning of change, and I get that, but I will tell you that self-awareness leads to transformation, because sometimes when you are aware that you need to change, it doesn't mean that you're going to change.
Exactly.
It's like, man, this is hurting. I don't like the way this feels. But I believe that self-awareness leads to transformation, because when you become aware of yourself in the situation, then you can do something about it. If you're just aware that this is happening, you feel this way, there's nowhere to go from there.
I know I'm drinking. I know I'm drugging.
I'm aware.
I'm aware.
Yeah, but when you're self-aware, you're like, wow, how am I participating in my own demise? What role am I playing in this setting? And that's why it always leads you back to mirror work, because you become more self-aware when you can see your own expression, when you notice, how you're being with yourself. Yeah. So
as Charles Dickens would say, these were the best of times, these are the worst of times. So this is a very interesting time on the planet. So as a master teacher, what are some of your thoughts? Because many people are anxious.
Yes.
It's not even about the political situation on the planet. There are so many changes, or in this country, there are so many changes everywhere.
Yes.
I would say post-pandemic, we're living in a very interesting time.
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I do.
Some suggestions.
Yeah. So at the end of the year last year, I decided to become what's called a community resiliency model guide.
Oh.
And I love that, because basically what I learned to do, and it's not very different than what we have been doing with the training that we got, but it teaches the power of regulation, and it helps people to be able to have 6 wellness practices that can help them to experience well-being. And what I believe is that we're living in times where people are going to have to take responsibility for their own lives. Like, I mean, and what I mean by that is in March, I was in the process of training a lot of people in the federal government space to work for the CDC. They work for the Department of Education. They work for Veteran Affairs. That is what I was going to be doing for the rest of the year. Well, by now, because of what's going on in Washington, D.C., all those people have been laid off, let go. Now, one of the trainings that I did, it was on a day, and it was 15 minutes after they had just received an email.
Wow.
And it was so challenging. Like, I thought I was, maybe my Wi-Fi wasn't working because they were so quiet. They weren't responding. It was our second session that we were having. And the CEO said, she said, I just want to let you know they just received some news 15 minutes before we got on the call, and they were devastated. And, so I pivoted from the whole resiliency training, teaching them 6 major tools to be able to ground themselves and track how they're feeling and all that. And I said, please put your cameras on, because this is breaking news. Breaking news is, it is time for you to wake up to the beautiful being that you are. Your job, you're not your job. Like,
We're not our jobs. We're not even our bodies.
We're not.
We're not even these bodies. I went through a health opportunity, so I completely understand that I was not the dis-ease that was manifesting in my body temporal. So you're not going to ask about, after you're done, the 6 steps, because this is incredible.
Yes.
Incredible.
Well, the 6 steps are tracking, right? Resourcing.
And tracking is what? You have to explain just a little bit. What is
tracking? Oh, yeah. Well, it's because it's so many of them. So it's okay. I mean, there's tracking, there's resourcing, there's grounding. Yeah. There's something that's called help now. There's gesturing, and there's something called shift and stay. And all of those things are, because what people don't realize is everybody wants to say everything is a mental illness, but things are based on biology. Biologically, we're designed fight, flight, or whatever, right?
Freeze or fawn. That's
yes.
Right.
So there are things you can do in the moment to bring yourself back into resiliency that have nothing to do with you being mentally whatever. You could be bipolar and still, you know what I mean? Like, it's like we always want to put the labels out there and say, oh yeah, I'm anxious because no, you can do something about your anxiety. If someone cuts you off in traffic, there are tools that you can use that actually bring you back into your resiliency zone, back into your body, so that you can know how to respond. I am a fan of self-responsibility, self-reliance, along with self-compassion, self-love, all the selves, right? I believe that it starts with me. Let it begin with me.
Let it begin with me.
Yeah, if I don't like something, I need to find out why I don't like it. Instead of being upset with the person who did it. And like I said to them that day, which was a hard lesson, because the CEO was like, yeah, because she wanted me to be very gentle with them. But I'm like, they were like, what's going to happen with my mortgage? And my kids are in private school and all the things. And I said, do you know who you are? Right? You know, you had, your skills are transferable. You thought that was the only job you were ever going to have. And you think that's the only job that you can ever do. Like, I mean, don't do that to our higher power. Our higher power created us as powerful beings. And if you were just going to let the CDC be the definition of
your power and
yes,
power.
Yeah.
And that's not, my beloveds. We are not being uncompassionate or lacking in empathy. When my friend said 100,000 Black women have been laid off, and I said, well, 100,000 Black women have an opportunity to use their skills to open businesses, to find more fulfilling jobs, to pivot, to take necessary time off that they would have never taken time off, to walk with faith, to begin to pray and meditate, to maybe get into fitness and health. There are going to be so many downloads. It is an opportunity. Are we going to walk by faith?
Yes.
And not by sight? Are we going to walk by fear?
Yes.
Or are we going to walk with resiliency and optimism? And it is not to take away how scary
Yeah.
change can be,
Yes.
and the uncertainty that is happening right now. But
Yes.
we are spiritually resilient.
Yes.
So, Greta, I could talk forever.
I know we can.
We could talk forever. We're going to have master teacher Greta Counts back on.
Yes. I
This
look
is her
forward to
book.
it.
This is her book, Mirror Work Works. Please sign up for her workshop. I think she's just incredible, iconic, wonderful. We're going to please go on and buy her t-shirts, her sweatshirts, the self-love wear and gear. That's absolutely fabulous. Gift your friends with it. Gift your girl pals, your boy guy pals, your friends and family.
Yes.
So you can find her at www.centerforspiritualawareness.com. And oh, it seems like I'm rushing to the close, but I loved talking to Master Teacher Greta so much. But this is Reverend Martine Bernard, and this is What Would Louise Say?
Yeah.
And Louise would say to Greta, A plus plus plus. And we are on the New Thought.
Yes.
Network.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye now.
Namaste.
Namaste.